Hey folks, it's July 4th, Independence Day, so my producers decided to chain me to a desk and then show me woke TikToks about July 4th. This video is sponsored by Provia.
You know what never ceases to amaze me is how many conservatives go around and essentially say, America was founded as a conservative Christian nation.
Basha, can you hear me?
And it's like, if you ever read a book in your life, ever, any book, George Washington, the Founding Fathers, John Adams, like Thomas Jefferson, like they all refer to themselves as enlightened.
Ryan!
And then when you look at their work, right, and like their letters to Britain, they would always write about how enlightened liberalism would free people and create a more liberated society where religion was no longer dominant. So like they would on religion in their letters. And it's like, I just see so many like conservatives be like, this is a Christian nation because our money says in God we trust. And then it's like, actually, it didn't even say that. And like, there was nothing religious about founding this nation. Like, it was founded in rebellion to religious governments.
Oh my God, cholesterol.
There are so many things that are wrong with this, it's hard to know where to begin. So first of all, conservative doesn't have an S in the middle of it.
You got.
Then the notion that England was like a religious dictatorship is incredibly silly. England was not a religious dictatorship in 1776. That's absurd. I mean, it wasn't the French Revolution. The French Revolution actually was a rebellion in many ways against religion. The American Revolution 100% was not. She does not understand the difference between classical liberalism and modern liberalism, which is pretty obvious from her statements. They were enlightened liberals, which means they probably like welfare. That is not what liberalism means. Liberalism of the time meant that they were in favor of things like freedom of speech and freedom of religious practice. However, all of the founding fathers, while they toyed with deism, fully believed in Judeo-Christian ethics and value systems. The notion that Thomas Jefferson was like in favor of same-sex marriage or abortion, or that George Washington was suddenly a proponent of left-wing social values is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous on its face. The vast majority of the founding fathers actually were fairly religious people, and in fact, there were established religions in several states at the time of the founding. So the belief system that the American Revolution was somehow a revolution against religion itself or a revolution against Christian principles is really silly. The American Revolution was not fought on behalf of theocracy, but that's not what people mean when they say that America was founded as a Christian nation. What they mean is that the backdrop to all American morality was Judeo-Christian in nature, and that is true. It was true. It should still be true.
On July 4th, there will be no buying there will be no going nowhere. There will be no supporting of this motherfucking independence of this damn country. There will be nothing bought. Do you understand?
Don't tell me what to do.
It's about high time that this country really get their motherfucking act in order. And if we gotta collapse our own motherfucking economy in order for them to go ahead and realize how fucking pissed off we are, then so be it. So again, I must say, and I quote, on July 4th, we are not buying We're not going nowhere. We're not doing no motherfucking cookouts. We're not doing not a damn thing but staying in a motherfucking house and enjoying our damn day. We don't give a about the damn national holiday because it isn't our holiday to celebrate. That's for black, white, gay, and straight.
Bada bop boom pow.
You know, it'd be great is if these people did that all the time. Like, just stay in your houses and leave all of us alone. First of all, buy a nail clipper is what you need to buy.
Queen.
But then beyond that, I do love the idea that he's very, very upset about abortion. This wombless person. Those are the rules, though, is that if you're pro-abortion, then you can be a man who yells about it. If you're anti-abortion, then you have to be quiet about it, even if you have many, many children. So good stuff there.
Yes, I'm not an idiot.
We'll see about that. We'll see.
I know that English is the language of America, but at the same time, don't you think it's a problem that almost 80% of America, of our country, literally only speaks English?
No.
Because if you don't think that's a problem, then you've never left America. Because I can tell you right now that it is very much a problem.
What the hell are you talking about?
At the bare minimum, we should be taught on a much higher level, at least one or two other languages. And then we get upset with tourists when they don't speak perfect English when they come here.
That's not true.
And it's just out of control because we as Americans, when we go to other countries, what language do we expect them to speak? Always English. Always.
Okay, so so many things. Yes, we speak English because that is, in fact, the language that we use in the United States. But it turns out that People all over the world use English. You know why? Because America is the most powerful force in the history of the world. And you know what was the most powerful force before that? The British Empire. And it turns out that millions of people over the course of human history have spoken English in foreign countries specifically because of the power of the British Empire. So yeah, they speak English because we kick ass. Am I offended when people who are tourists come here and they don't speak English? Well, no, I don't know. I've never understood that. Should we learn another language? Yeah, that'd be great. But why is she offended that people in America mostly only speak English? First of all, most people in America don't actually leave the country all that often. This is a big-ass country. We'll get to more of these woke TikTok idiots on July 4th in just 1 second. First, these people can make you lose your hair. And if you're one of the American men and women dealing with premature hair thinning or hair loss, or you're scared about inheriting that thin look because it runs in the family, there is now a real solution that delivers on its promise without the harsh side effects, unwanted chemicals, and unpleasant smells. Provia Hair Care uses a safe, natural ingredient called Procapil to effectively target the 3 main causes of premature hair thinning and loss. Provia supports healthy scalp circulation and delivers nourishing nutrients to strengthen hair follicles and anchor them to your scalp. Provia guarantees more hair on your head than in the shower drain. Provia is effective for men and women of any age and safe on colored, treated, and styled hair. Provia works guaranteed or 100% of your money back. It is, in fact, that easy. Take advantage of Provia's exclusive introductory summer package at proviahair.com/Ben. Enter promo code Ben at checkout for an extra discount on your order. See results for yourself right now. Don't wait. That's proviahair.com/Ben. Again, proviahair.com/Ben. Stop struggling with hair loss and get it fixed. Go to proviahair.com/Ben today to get started.
We all should be boycotting the 4th of July this year. America does not deserve a birthday. Why? We've had 306 mass shootings this year. We have a rogue Supreme Court full of religious extremists who are actively taking away the rights of people. And we have 2 pathetic leaders of each party, one who's too stupid and weak to do anything, and the other who's an absolute grifter who wants to overturn democracy. Let's show this country why America does not deserve a birthday this year. Stitcher, duet this video and tell me why you are boycotting the 4th of July and use the hashtag #NoBirthdayUSA, or just comment below, because this country is a mess and we need to give them a message.
Wow, what a message. What a message. Oh, wow. First of all, we have not had 306 mass shootings this year. That is a wildly overbroad definition of what a mass shooting constitutes, but put aside the false stat that he is putting out there, the number of actual mass shootings that we would consider mass shootings in the United States, while each one is horrifying and evil and terrible, it's not even remotely close to hundreds of mass shootings. I assume the definition he's using is more than one person gets shot, which involves like every weekend in Chicago, multiple times. When he says that the Supreme Court is filled with religious extremists, name a case that they have ruled on the basis of their religion. He can't, because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And then his critiques of the various presidential candidates, I noticed my favorite part there, he's like, his critique of Biden, he's like, these 2 old geriatrics, and one of them won't be my dictator. That's his critique of Biden, is why won't he be a dictator? And the other one hates democracy. I noticed that you're contradicting yourself. Like what you want from Joe Biden is to just ignore the law, and then you are upset because you think that Donald Trump is ignoring the law. This is a favorite bugaboo of mine. People on the left are like, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Why won't Joe Biden issue more executive orders? All right, guys.
Oh my God, I hope it fucking rains all night. Because if everyone's saying climate change, why are we popping fireworks? Why? Also, like, indigenous people had their lands fucking stolen and their children killed. So what are we celebrating? What are y'all celebrating? Y'all just want to have a barbecue? It's summertime. Just do that any other time. Like, why? What's going on?
What is the symbol that's hanging from her car? I don't even know what that is. I feel like there's some significance to that. Does she think that fireworks create global warming? Is that her hot take here? Because I'm not sure even global warming extremists think that fireworks are really one of the chief causes of global warming.
Smells like global warming.
She was complaining about stealing indigenous land. So here is the thing about this particular accusation. You know which tribes have taken land from other tribes? All of them. Forever. You're just mad that Western civilization won. But I don't see you giving up your apartment. Like, where do you live? I assume that you live on land that once didn't belong to people who looked exactly like you. I don't see you going back to the original inhabitants of that land from, 15,000 years ago and being like, they're descendants. They should have this land. This is the most tiresome argument.
Now, we talk a lot about how America was founded on racism, and people point to things like the Civil War and how the Confederate States wanted to secede from the Union in order to preserve the institution of slavery. People go even further back and talk about the Three-Fifths Compromise, which was a compromise to appease slaveholding states in their representation. We also talk about the Electoral College, which was also a method meant to appease slaveholding states. But we can go even further back because all of those things happened post-1776 when America was already technically a country. But when we say America was founded on racism and the institution of slavery, we can look to 1775, when many people were very lukewarm about the idea of a revolution and they weren't sure if they wanted to be independent from Britain. Until Britain gave slaves the option to join the British Army against the American revolutionists in exchange for their freedom, and white people got scared. And that was literally a catalyst for the American Revolution. Happy Black History Month.
Okay, that last part is just not true.
See, now that's some bullshit.
Okay, the notion that the founding fathers decided to fight a revolution because the British were going to free slaves against the revolutionaries, that's she's got her timeline mixed up. As far as the other stuff, the Three-Fifths Compromise was an attempt to claw back from Southern overrepresentation. Let's say that blacks had been counted as not 3/5 of a human being. They'd been counted as 5/5 of a human being, like a full human. They still wouldn't have been able to vote. It would have overrepresented Southern states by counting black people in their population, but not in their voting population, thus giving Southern states overrepresentation. She's forgetting the other half of the Civil War.
What's the other half?
Yes, there was, in fact, a large chunk of the country that wanted to secede over the issue of slavery. And then there was a larger chunk of the country that literally sent hundreds of thousands of men to die to free those slaves. So she seems to be forgetting about those people. Here's why you should celebrate the 4th of July. The 4th of July represents the establishment of the most powerful, greatest, and freest country in the history of the world that has spread freedom and prosperity to literally billions of people, including its own inhabitants, that has expanded rights to hundreds of millions of Americans living within our own borders and to people who live outside of our borders, that has propped up the global economy, that has raised half the global population out of abject poverty, that has assured the world's freedom from both communism and Nazism, and also, in many cases, from Islamic fascism. So, yeah, there are a lot of reasons to celebrate the United States. And if you don't celebrate the United States, I would suggest that you do it without the use of any of the technologies that you prize, without any of the prosperity that you rely upon, without your job, without your apartment, without any of the glories that the United States has given you. Because otherwise, you're being kind of ungrateful, don't you think?